from the United States bringing no nothing for humanitarian aid, you know.
But what's wrong?
camouflage with that.
What's wrong with humanitarian aid?
Humanitarian aid is a bullshit. It's nothing but a fallacy because humanitarian aid.
U.S. force airplanes.
But it doesn't matter how you deliver aid when there's earthquake in Indonesia around the world. They use military planes.
Let me ask you this. You see what happened in Libya with the aid?
I totally see.
Every capitalist society uses a tragedy to get into a certain country. They try to appeal to people, people's like empathy towards other people, and this is the way to go to oil.
There's no humanitarian aid. Also, Honduras has a dictatorship with Juan Orlando Hernandez. They need aid. There's a lot of repression. There's a lot of poor people.
What about Venezuela? Is there repression in Venezuela?
There was aid in Guatemala, was aid in Nicaragua, was aid in Chile, was aid.
Yeah, but wait, is there repression in Venezuela? You said there's repression in Honduras.
Honduras, there's repression. Where was the media? Where was the media?
No,
there was repression.
Venezuela.
There's repression.
Check the latest United Nations report on Venezuela. No one from the mainstream media took a single word from it.
No
one.
No. It's just tergiversation of that, you know. Commercial media is nothing but bullshit, you know. It's nothing but interest, paid interest by the powerful people, you know.
Where's the United States and Haiti when they have corruption? You know what's going on in Haiti these days? Are you familiar with what's going on?
Yeah, I'm familiar, but Jean Dernan, whatever his name was, he was no better either.
US. He's favored by the U.S. If you look at the Trump administration, when he won the election last year, he was congratulated. And all of a sudden, there's billions of dollars missing in aid from Haiti, and that's why people are on the street right now.
But what
and you know why a lot of those money are from? A lot of those money are from Venezuela with gas going to Haiti on a very cheap price.
But I think it was the Clintons who took the money. Remember, Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Well, of course. I'm anti-Clinton. I'm a socialist. I don't believe in two parties.
That's interesting. So you like socialism?
I like socialism. I'm from Romania. I grew up over there.
And you like socialism coming from Romania? You like Ceausescu's socialism?
I like Ceausescu because there was not a socialism. There was not true socialism. There was dictatorship. It's a difference.
That's the first one. Someone coming from Romanian dictatorship and living. How old were you when they left it?
Dictatorship versus socialism. That's the problem with a lot of people.
But you should know. I mean, coming from Eastern Europe, that's. Every time when they tried so-called socialism, it always
different.
ends up.
Socialism very close to personality, and this is where people get.
But it always happens. I mean, again, you should know better. Guess what? I came from USSR originally. I know better. That's why I just don't understand how people can support, socialism in America, around the world.
Why support socialism? Have you read the theory of Marx?
What's that?
The theory of Marx?
Well, of course I did. We had to. We were fed theory of.
You know the best place to apply that certain theory? But you apply it to a society that it's already developed. Soviet Union, the problem was and every other place in Eastern Europe was an agrarian society.
But Venezuela is a test case of the country in South America that was one of the highest standards of living, came socialism, and look at Venezuela today.
What's going on today?
Well,
20% that are the upper middle class, and this is the one that you see with Guaido.
They're the social.
Is that the socialists? All Guaido's supporters, they're upper middle class. They're the people.
Wait. But didn't it start with Chavismo, with Bolivarian Revolution?
Chavismo lifted the country out of poverty, a lot of people out of poverty, and then all the sanctions are happening.
I don't.
US did not agree with it.
I don't understand. It's like 1984, now right? 1984, by the way, when I was... Yeah, but look...
1984 was going on with the
right wing. But what you're saying is that the standard of living, just like I said, and it's a fact. I mean, you can research. Obviously, it's a fact that standard of living in Venezuela was much higher before...
Have you look at the causes?
Before the Chavismo, before the socialist revolution.
That's very untrue. It was it's very untrue. It was a very small part of the population that things that had been happening in Latin America from Mexico to Argentina to Uruguay to Chile. You have a small percentage of people controlling the majority of the wealth. And yes, those are the people that live very well. And when someone tries to bring socialism in the form of lifting people out of poverty, that's when people stop making money. It's a capitalist society. It's based on profit.
So
and when big
capitalism
profit, it's like the same thing happens in the United States. That's why I have a divergence from inequality. Like the inequality, instead of like merging and pretty much leveling out, like let's say, for example, a lot of people compare it to like Nordic countries, right? The inequality is very low versus Latin America, for example. The U.S.
But they're not socialist. They have nothing to do with socialism. Nordic countries.
I'm not saying. I'm saying how people portray it. I know they're not socialists.
Okay.
You know, people like to call it socialist,
Yeah,
like
but
Fox
it's not.
News and stuff, but it's not.
Okay.
It's a capitalist society, and they have social measure welfare. It's a completely different story.
Correct.
The problem is inequality Latin America has been a problem since God knows when. It's pretty much the Monroe Doctrine in 1823.
Okay.
When pretty much the intervention of foreign powers became okay, that's when inequality starts moving. And what happens, the same thing Venezuela. Okay, Peronism in Argentina. Let's go a little back, right? Peronism in Argentina. A small part of the population was controlling majority of the wealth. And this is when you guys start Brazil, the exact same problem. That's when you start seeing the favelas and all this small development.
Because of capitalism.
Of course, it's because of capitalism. Because every single socialist measure that's been tried to be implemented in Latin America, including Guatemala, Nicaragua, Chile with Allende, everything got crushed by the U.S. or the oil interests or in general the community.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
This is what happened with Venezuela. Venezuela was after Chavez. A lot of people got lifted out of poverty.
Really?
A lot of people. No, look it up. I'm not making this stuff up. Look it up. And I'm saying no Fox News, no CNN, none of this bullshit.
Okay.
Because this is the problem. People like to be fed information without researching it.
Okay.
This is the problem with a lot of things these days. Not only Venezuela, like everything else. People like to be fed little crumbs like pigeons.
Okay, but let's say when we talk about Marxist ideology, when we talk about socialist countries, I mean, you're from Romania, again, and that's what baffles me. As you know very well, there hasn't been a single country where socialism or Marxist-Leninist ideology was implemented successfully in 100 years. So they were trying and trying and trying. 100 million innocent people murdered. And what's the end result? What do you have to show for socialism?
So explain me, okay, because you apparently you're a captain.
I came from USSR. Listen, I suffered. Your parents suffered.
So tell me a successful capitalist economy.
Well, you're stating here on Wall Street.
This is successful when you have poverty rate that high, that's been higher and higher every single year for the past 20 years. Since Reagan, pretty much the inequality has been going down. Wages for the top 5% have been going up. Now since 1970, that's pretty much when it started being the regulations of the banks. 1978, 74, started with Carter. That's when you're going to see the income inequality grow, and you see.
So you want income. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but this is another thing kind of baffles me. So you expect all people to be equal. When you say income inequality, when you use the word inequality, I mean.
When I say equal, I mean people to have equal opportunity to go in this.
Exactly, but don't we have equal opportunity in America, more or less?
No. For me, as a white person, maybe yes, but for a lot of other people, no.
Do you know black people in America who succeeded beyond imagination, including the presidency of the United States?
So this is not the problem that a lot of people, when they try to portray a specific part of the society, especially when it goes to racial boundaries, everyone looks at one example. Oh, this guy made it up. This guy made it up. But no one looks at the regular guy, because not everyone can be. Not everyone can be a football player. Not everyone could be a president.
No, of course not.
So a lot of people don't have this.
But in Ceausescu's regime in your Romania, you would never become the leader of the Communist Party of Romania, ever, never.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Not everyone is going to be the president.
But we're talking about the opportunities. There were no opportunities in the countries like Romania or USSR whatsoever. Ceausescu's Romania, of course, none.
There was opportunity. You were going to school. You had free school. You had free healthcare. You were getting out of school. You had a job.
Really? And
yes.
Boy, you were born in Romania, right?
I was born in Romania. My father was working there. My mom was working there. My parents are still.
And do your parents agree with your ideology?
Yes, they agree.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Because when you strive, the thing is, like a lot of people, especially conservative people, when they look at universal, associated with free, like free healthcare or free education. No, it's universal. It's different. There's money. There's taxes to be paid.
Correct.
This is the difference between a socialist economy versus a capitalist economy. A socialist economy strives for the people to succeed.
Okay,
They
now
invest money in the people. Like, okay, we're going to northern countries, right? The good thing that they do.
capitalist, mind you, capitalist Nordic countries. Very important
Capitalist
distinction.
Nordic countries. I know.
Capitalist, okay.
But
Want to
the
make
good thing-
sure.
One good thing that they do, they tax a lot, but you got education for free, paid out of the taxes that you've been paying.
Okay.
You got
capitalist country. I keep repeating it over and over again. Capitalist. And you
Capitalism has a
advocate
socialist-
and you advocate for socialism. Fundamental difference between the two. And by the way, has life improved in Romania after Ceausescu?
no.
Really?
No. Yeah,
Really?
you might see guys driving Mercedeses, but the majority of the population has not
Really?
improved. Yes.
Do people sent to prisons for criticizing the government today?
Yes, actually they are because
Really?
of the crackdowns. Yeah, you should look it up. There's people still
Really?
being followed. It's actually Romania passed a law, I think a year and a half or 2 years ago that made legally tapping phones without any reason. Pretty much kind of like the
Well, by
Patriots
tapping the
here.
phones and sending people behind bars for no reason whatsoever, criticizing the government are two completely different things.
It's still happening. You might not see it as you've seen it before. You might not have the same.
Well, like you would not see it before. Exactly. So a huge positive change happened in Romania.
Was a huge positive.
Well, a huge positive change, economic, political.
It didn't happen. No.
Really?
Just because we're part of the European Union.
Well, how about if you don't have to waste half of your life standing in line?
The medical system is in crumbles in Romania. Doctors are
Was
leaving
it-
the country because they're not getting paid anything because everything else.
But it was even worse under
No, it
the
wasn't.
communist
It
regime.
wasn't
Listen,
worse.
I lived it. See, you don't know it.
But I don't know your
You never-
experience. I don't know your experience versus my experience.
Well, of
For
course,
other
because
people-
you never lived it. That's the fundamental difference. You're too
I
young.
lived
You're too young to experience socialism.
How old do you think I am?
Well, you're in your, I don't know, maybe late 20s.
I was 6. No, I'm 34 actually.
Okay, 34. So,
I was almost 6 years old. when
so
it
by
started.
that time, basically the regime collapsed. At 60
It
euros,
collapsed.
you.
As I said, I'm going to repeat. Romania and any other countries in the Eastern Bloc was not a successful socialist country.
Not successful.
Was
Was
not
there?
successful, and
Was
the
there
reason-
ever? Okay, the reason. I'm sorry for interrupting. And the reason is.
The reason is, a lot of times you have to do well. Starting the Cold War, when the Cold War started happening. Are you filming me now?
You don't mind it?
Film me, right?
Okay. I see. Yeah, I think it's recording.
It's recording.
Yeah. You okay with it, right? Okay.
Where are you from, by the way?
Russia.
I know, but like which I know Russia. I can't hear it several times,
USSR.
Which
What channel? Fox News or something? Listen, do I look like a media person?
I don't know. You got a camera. You're walking around, so yeah. You know, it's, these days anyone. With
Yeah,
a phone, man.
that's true. I'm not. Listen, I'm just baffled by all these people, all these gatherings supporting socialism because.
Bottom line, our
Yes, but-
discussion would go forever if we want to go. So we
Sure.
can do two ways. Pretty much what we're trying to do over here is not pretty much making people aware that the United States have been doing the exact same thing over and over and over again in Latin America.
I see.
And this is the main reason why we're
Got it. All right. Well,
because
socialism is a failure, and you should know it. I wouldn't tell it to
Socialism is
other
not
people, but
implemented.
you should know it.
like any other type of society, we are striving to improve ourselves, right?
course
like
we do.
First, we try to improve ourselves.
Yes.
And the same thing happens.
But there are no opportunities in this socialist system. The regime's weak and well, listen, I lived it. You can disagree all you want.
That's what I'm saying. It's
You know, you can't convince me for very simple reasons. I went through that.
All right.
Nice talking
Nice
to you.
talking.
Mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc.